Good morning and welcome back to another Amy Harrill podcast. I have the incredible Amy Harrill with me. Good morning, Amy.
Hi, Sherman. Good morning.
I am thrilled about today's episode. And I know the last episode we talked about principles and values and where you spend your time reflecting your real vision. I want to ask you to unpack more about time as it relates to habits, as it relates to our brain. Where do you see that connection?
You and I have been students. I am a bit evangelistic about this one modality of neuroscience. But Anat Banal is a neuro practitioner that designed a set of movement lessons that help the brain groove in new neural pathways known as neuroplasticity. So I'm not going to get into that. I just want to quote her. She says that our brain likes its habits and we love to do our habits. Okay. Really, habits do not come out of this rogue ritual of just non intentional work. Does that make
Right.
sense? So we're not like grinding and hustling to change habits. We have to literally go into our physiology, the way we are created, and change it from the inside out if we really want to see habits
Mhm.
change. If we are going to affect real change, we have to affect real habit change. You got
Mm.
bad habits. People say, I got this bad habit of eating snacks in bed at 9 p.m., right? Okay. You cannot just will yourself to stop. This is something that you have been intentionally growing and attending and nurturing for however long you've been doing it.
Mm.
So to just stop it is you're going to create more frustration. And
Mm.
frustration actually shuts the brain down. So if you think of the brain, as I understand it, as an overprotective mother, the second that mother feels like, oh, my child is in pain, they are not happy, it shuts down any learning that could happen to affect the change of that habit. So, for instance, if I'm eating or I'm done eating and I'm like, I am not going to go to the refrigerator and get that dip and those crackers. I'm just not going to do it. I'm just going to go get into bed and I'm going to read a book and I'm just going to will myself. Okay. Suddenly, I don't like this feeling because I've been eating and comforting myself for so long that the brain is, oh, you don't like that? Boom, shut down any information to change the habit. So then you end up getting up and going to the refrigerator at 9:15 and staying up a whole hour later because you've been fighting it. Hey, guys, not only have I been there, but I know you have been too. Sure, that's why you're laughing because you have been in this position, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. Definitely not crackers and dip in bed, but, many other things.
Right? Many other things. So we really want to affect change externally. We have to affect change internally. And that requires an awareness of what we're doing and why we're doing it, and then
Mhm.
choosing to do something different. That creates enthusiasm, not frustration. The brain, again, likes to make us happy. And when we are happy, it remembers that moment and then it pulls on that information the next time we go to do that same activity. So
Mm.
rather than trying to will ourselves not to eat, how about if we replace it with something else like a piece of fruit? So we're still
Yeah.
eating, but we're eating less calories, which is still giving us that satisfaction. The brain's grooving it in. So the next day I go, I'm going to be like, man, that was such a great experience. The brain is retraining itself in this very moment. I'm going to go choose that piece of fruit again,
Okay.
right? Versus I'm just going to cut this out and I am just going to sit here and I am just going to will the change. It
Yeah.
yourself has no ability to will any change, people. Okay, you yourself cannot change yourself. That's just the truth. So
Wow.
talk to me, Sherman. What's rolling
That's
around?
so rich. That's so rich. So much stuff in there. So that's Amy's real life story of crackers and dip in bed at
That's
9
right.
o'clock.
Yes. We
All I
now
care about is what brand of crackers, what type of dip.
Well, I don't share that.
Oh man. Okay, so how for our viewers and listeners who are watching this go, okay, time and habits.
Mm,
I want to create a new habit. I want to switch out a bad habit. I want to look at how I spend my time in my business. Can we unpack that where they can
yeah.
go, how do I put skin around this for my
Yeah.
real business
Yes.
practice?
Yeah. Where we spend our time tends to be the things that are getting us the most satisfaction.
Mm,
Okay.
okay.
Even if it's on stuff that you would say, I hate that, there's something about it you're enjoying or you wouldn't be spending time on it. And it could just very well be the simple feeling of control. You have control over a situation. So you're excited about doing the thing because you're getting the satisfaction of being in control. So the reality is that there's some satisfaction we're getting out of the things we're spending our time on. Now, let's be very clear. Time cannot be managed. It cannot be saved. You cannot get it back. Okay.
Mm,
So what we need to do is we've got to learn how to take the time we have and direct it to the outcomes that we want. And this is also going to help us change our habits. There is a principle called the Pareto principle or the 80-20 principle, which
but
Pareto identified that if we will spend our time on the 20% of things that are going to get us the 80% return, we will always be producing more in less time.
yes. Yes.
So we can actually produce 80% of our outcomes in 20% of our time if we know how to direct time. And we also know how to impact the change that we're wanting to get in the time that we're working. So, a very practical way of doing that is something that I refer to as the master tracker. It's a document that I created almost 2 decades ago based on the Pareto principle. So
Mm,
every day there's an objective. So if my
mm,
objective is to make, let's say that this month, my objective is to make 10% more than I did last month. That needs to be the objective every day, not one day. It has to be the objective every day. This is now sending new information to my brain. Just that one activity is helping my brain groove in a new lane of information to get me what I want. Okay.
mhm.
But I have to be faithful and consistent to attend to that and let my brain know I'm enjoying this new outcome I'm working towards. So that's where we start really is at this one objective a day.
Okay. So you make that a daily objective, and that could lead into 30 days of that objective or focus or practice.
Yep.
And tell me what happens to the brain or to you when that
Yeah.
becomes a daily objective.
Yeah. The first thing is that most of the time, the reason why we're not getting what we want is because we quit too soon. We don't
Mm,
actually spend enough time in a new behavior, which is what impacts these habits, attending to it long enough so that the brain gets new information to say, hey, okay, let's impact the change here. So if I'm saying I want to make 10% more next month than I do this month, I now have to attend to all the activity that is going to get me that 10%. So the next step that happens on the master tracker is a splatter list. So
okay.
that splatter list is everything, Sherman, even down to what am I eating? Okay. How
Okay.
many times
Okay.
do I need to eat? Do I really need to do meal prepping or can I blend my food? Do I really need this many calories a day? Or is that what I was telling myself so I'd have more energy? Because when the brain begins to groove in new neural pathways, you start to experience energy that you have never experienced before. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not linked to your diet.
Mm,
It's linked to your behavior. Because when you don't like what you're doing and you feel stuck and you feel ashamed that you can't get out of the hamster wheel, it wears you down. You don't sleep well, you don't eat well. It's this vicious cycle. But when you begin to attend to something you really want, which is 10% more this month and next month, you begin to see things differently, but you have to document it. So you splatter down everything it's going to take. How many hours do I need to be working to attend to this? This all goes back
Mhm.
to the mechanics of measuring. You got to know, how long does it take me to acquire a new client? How long does it take me to do these things? So, how many hours do I need to work? Write it down. Do I need someone to come in and watch my children? Do I need to leave the house? Do I need to get a workspace today? Do I need to
Mhm.
go to the library? What time do I need to get up? Do I need to get up and go take a walks? All of these things are documented. So in a day,
Mhm.
if I'm going to achieve this 10% more, I have to do some very specific activity. I have to be marketing. I have to be selling. What is interfering with those activities? Is it my housework? Can that be outsourced? Can the children do some of the housework? Can the husband pick up some of the slack? So, on that splatter list, you have to then document, can this be delegated? Do I actually have to be the one to do it? Okay.
Okay.
So this is now sending new information to the brain of, oh, they're liking this behavior of having to sit and plan, which now
Mhm.
changes our poor habit of just reacting to everything that comes across our path,
Mhm.
which is what most owners that are not profitable are doing every day. They're scattered, they don't know what to do, and they're feeling overwhelmed.
Mhm.
And then they get themselves into this bad habit of oversleeping, overeating, overspending, staying up late, believing that they can't do it, so they outsource it too soon. It's a really vicious cycle. Are you following me?
Man, I'm sure that's gonna be a great slap in the face for a lot of people. And then on the other hand, I'm like blending my breakfast, lunch, and dinner into one smoothie. That's yummy.
Hey, I discovered that I actually don't need as many calories in a day to do
Fair point.
all the
Fair point.
work.
Yeah.
And then I was like, so then where do I spend those calories?
Mm,
Which has completely changed my family's entire life, not because I needed to lose weight, but because the
mhm.
very process of attention to documentation of what it takes to get one objective done sent me down new habit paths I had never even considered. I really thought I was
Mhm.
healthy. Oh no, I was
Okay.
not healthy. Okay. I really thought I was disciplined. No, actually, I wasn't disciplined.
Wow.
I really
That
thought I was awesome, and I really wasn't awesome.
just based on
So
you working on your own master tracker and your splatters.
that's it. That's it.
Okay.
And then the very last thing that the master tracker has on it, so it's 3 sections. My one objective every day for 30 days. Then the
Mm,
splatter list every day that is going to support that one objective. What can be delegated and what can only I do? Now I only get to choose 6 things every day that I get to do to achieve that objective, only 6.
oh,
There's not too
okay.
many, because
Okay.
that's the 20% that is gonna get me the 80% of the results that I want, and it has to
Mhm.
be the highest level. So that's those 6 most important things. When I first started this almost 2 decades ago, I realized that everything felt important, so nothing
Mm,
was important, Sherman. I was spending my time on things that I should not have been spending time on, especially during very valuable income producing activity hours.
yeah.
We all
Uh,
know that terminology today. Income producing activity hours is a real thing. But then what do you do in those hours? So then I was like, okay, of these 6 things, there's 2 things every day that only I can do. And only I
mm,
can go to the doctor for myself. I can't outsource that.
mhm.
So there's some things that only I can do. So I really only have 4 things every day I can do for my business to get this
Mhm.
objective done, which
Mm,
really forced me to think about everything I was doing, which led to the mechanic of research and measurement. And that's
okay.
how I honed those new habits, is because I kept feeling more productive. So the brain
Mm,
was like, "Ooh, you like this. You like being productive. How do we get more of that productivity in?"
okay.
So then that led to me really honing and targeting down what's going to get me the highest returns in the shortest period of time, which improved
Mhm.
my habits all the way around. My sleep habits, my eating habits, my communication habits,
Mm,
my learning habits, and I was achieving the outcome. It's a very powerful process with one little tool that is a time management tool, but time cannot be managed. It can only be directed.
Mhm. Amy, you are a beast. Oh my goodness. That's incredible. Okay, question.
Yeah.
Should those listening, watching this, create their own master tracking sheet,
Yeah.
or is your sheet something that you are wanting to share?
Yeah. My clients get my sheet. I don't know if it's
Okay.
proprietary, but I don't put it on the internet because it requires some explanation and some accountability. You can't
Mhm.
just go at it. You've got to, again, you can't
Correct.
will yourself to change.
Correct.
You have to do things differently with accountability.
And I'm sure
So
those that just heard this would be saying, oh, sheet. Now I got to reach out to Amy. That's a really poor dad joke, but had to be said. But yeah, definitely reach out to Amy because she and her systems will supercharge what you're doing. And it'll be a beautiful overhaul towards your desired outcomes. So, Amy, what else are you want to share when it comes to time and habits and brain for our listeners? What's a great takeaway or a
yeah.
nugget of information?
How I would put skin on this is for
Mhm.
those of you that are getting up every day and just doing a few things consistently, but when it comes to work, it feels scattered, whether you're an employee or you own your own company. If you are going into the office, whether that's in the home or it's in a building, and you walk in and you're like, okay, what gets my attention is what's on the top of the stack, then this is what I'm going to guide you to do every night before you go to bed for the next 7 days. Keep a notebook beside your nightstand and start a splatter list. Okay. Just start writing down everything that is on your mind. Just write it all down. Don't try to put an objective to it yet. Just start by documenting, just do a brain dump. I've heard coaches and things use that language. That's what this is. So you're just going to dump everything out of your brain onto paper. Yes, I know. What a novel idea, pen and paper, but it's brilliant. Did you know that if you will write with a pen everything and just mark out the mistakes, not erase them, this helps the brain groove in new neural pathways. A pencil and a computer interrupts the brain's ability to groove in new information because you can delete it. You can stop and think about what you don't want. The overprotective mother jumps in and is, oh, remember, you don't ever want to remember that again. But you actually do. You actually need to remember it if the habit is going to change. So I would guide you to write with a pen and paper, not type it on your phone, not type it on your computer or use a pencil. I would use a pen and paper. You're going to just splatter it all down, then go beside those items and say, who could this be delegated? So everything needs to have either a delegation or you beside it, a human that can be delegated to, or only you can do it. And that would be where I would start. At the end of 7 days, you are going to discover, wow, there's a lot I don't need to do, or there's a lot I'm doing. And why do I feel I'm the one that needs to do it? And then you can start the next 7 days to add an objective to every day. Maybe it just starts with a conversation with a staff member. Today, I'm going to talk to so and everything that needs to happen for that conversation to happen. Do you need to go to their office? Can they come to your office? Is it a phone call? Do you need to schedule that phone call? What do you need to rearrange to make that happen? All of this becomes a priority, and you've already grooved in the beginnings of a splatter list. Now you're layering in the objective.
Thanks, Amy, for today's rich and meaty episode. Stay tuned for our next episode as we cover more business topics on the Amy Harrill podcast.